Welcome back to Frontier for episode 6 with me, MrSealyp. Well, this feels familiar from recent events the other week. I'm considering selling my 10TP actually. If you're in the UK, if you're interested, mind you, it might be a collection only job. They're not cheap, that's the only thing. I could sign it if anyone's interested. Oh dear. Anyway, I stayed at the campsite, and I've had another one of those. So I've been looking at my options. I said at the end of the last episode, you know, what am I going to do? Well, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go and buy one of these because this is leased at the moment. The rest of the equipment I've got at the moment, I'm going to keep hold of, but I'm going to buy one. I'm probably going to keep the same colours actually. I quite like this. I think I went for carbon fibre on the bodywork. But anyway, we're going to head to the store. The guys at the store were kind enough to let me leave my equipment there. I've got a few changes I need to make with a couple of bits so we can up the game a little bit, up our ante. So, the perfect storm of situations. A situation has arisen. And I was literally, end of the last episode, I'm recording away and I'm looking at my options and I'm talking about it and thinking, what do I do next? I've got an idea of what I wanted to do next. I come out, I start editing, I get a message from Niko. And it was one of those, dude, like perfect timing. I mean, absolutely spot on. So Niko works on behalf of the Technical Development and Research Department for the L.A.C. The L.A.C. is the Lizard Agro-Industrial Cooperative here on Frontier, and they're looking at ways in which the deadlands outside the wall, the wastelands, can be brought back to being fertile land and usable land again after chemical spills and various different things over the last, you know, however long. And the ground is it's a desert wastegate. It's being used for oil production and the oil refineries out there, and there's mining going on and all that kind of stuff. But they've been looking at ways of making the ground more fertile again. And so the message reads, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll read the message. 1 year ago, we got in possession of an internal paper from the Frontier Oil Refinery describing the exact mix of toxins that contaminate the soil outside the wall. In collaboration with the Toxicology Department of the Frontier University, they've been developing an experimental liquid that could negate and almost nullify, really, the toxins in the ground. They have some drawbacks. They're struggling with a few things here and there, trying to get some things to work, but they have reached stage 4 of testing, which now will include a field study, is what they want to try and do, see if they can get it to work. Now it does say they need to keep the oxygen in the ground, so they're trying to avoid compaction in the ground. They've partnered with Prinoth, who have supplied them with a T-Wolf agri-power. The local farming community is a little bit, they don't want to get involved because they're farming inside the wall, and I think there's a concern that if they can make outside the wall fertile and more productive again, they lose their, not control over, I suppose a little bit of control over it, that anyone could go out and anyone could start farming, whereas at the moment they've kind of got a bit of a monopoly inside the wall, and space is limited inside the wall as well. I think that's probably another reason why. So anyway, they're approaching me as an independent professional. I mean, professional's a strong word, but okay, we'll go with it, it's fine. Let's say I'm a professional. They're offering me employment on a 2-year contract. They're offering me $5,000 a month salary, including accommodation on site. Now, I was saying about accommodation, I mean, say accommodation, there's a tent out there, but they own 3 lots out there which the field studies are going to be conducted on. They've got building permission, so if we need to build any infrastructure out there, it can be done. They have got part of their process, there's a production, like a tank out there. We'll have a look at it when we get out there. Anyway, and then Hispano Developments have provided them with 3 irrigation systems. So I thought, well, I haven't used those really, so you know what, why not, let's give it a go. So I've accepted the contract. I think it's a brilliant idea. The test liquid, now I misread something on here, and in misreading it I've coined a phrase myself out of this. It's a mixture of all the sides, so herbicides and pesticides and fungicides. It's got alkalines in it. It's got fertilizers in it. The whole mix. It's a concentrated liquid. It does need to be diluted down, which then can be used and put on the ground. And I'm calling it testicide because it's a test product. So yeah, in the message it says about a test site, and I read that and thought, oh, that's a cool name for it, and then realised I'd misread it. But testicide, that's what I'm going to call it. So yeah, I've got to clear some sand for them as well. Not huge amounts, and I'll do a little bit, but then, you know, off camera. I haven't got to sell it. If I want to, I can. There's sand out there on their plots. I need to move some just to give access to their tank, but I can just dump it and pile it up if I want to. I haven't got to go mad. And they're hoping that I'll take on the contract. So you know what? I'm going to take on the contract. But first, I'm not sure if the store's going to be open yet because I had some problems with this yesterday. Oh, alright. So, I'm going to buy one. I've lost it. I mean, that's not unusual. Maybe it's not open yet. I can go in through the menu, I suppose. Right, I'm going to sort out myself a new vehicle. The other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to return the bucket. I'm going to get a larger one. So we went from a shovel and a wheelbarrow to a 1,500 litre bucket. We went to a 2,000 litre bucket on the skid steer loader. Oh, the skid steer loader I returned. I forgot to say that, or did I say that? I returned the skid steer loader because I weren't managing to do what I was doing with the Leap-Air. So I went from a 2,000 to a 3,500. We're now going to go to a 5. I probably could go bigger, but we're going to go for a 5 and a rear weight. So I've got a couple of bits I need to sort out. And I'm also going to return the trailer, because that's a 20,000 litre leased. I'm going to go for a 30,000 litre leased. Just to give me a little, so larger capacity bucket, larger trailer. So again, like I say, we're up in our ante, we're getting up there. So then what I'm going to do is we'll head out and have a look at the situation out there. And I've got to go and collect the testicide, but I've got to get out there and find out where I've got to collect it from. Then we'll get out there, get that underway. And I think we're going to have some ploughing to do. We've got some prep to do. And yeah, so we're going to, let's get outside the walls. We are reclaiming the deadlands. Well, we're going to try to anyway. So it's a test. We'll find out. So, ladies and gentlemen, my first purchase. I own it. I've got an XJ. Carbon fibre. I changed my company name. Rather than MrSealyp Mining, or MrSealyp Mining, it's MrSealyp Inc. So that's what we are now. Because I think mining just limited myself too much to one thing. When we came in out from the wasteland, yeah, you know, oil refinery work on the nodding donkeys and stuff, bit of mining here and there. But now we're a bit more than that. So yeah, and I went for the next horsepower up as well. When we leased, we had 350 or 450, 750 horsepower. We want a little bit more grunt. We've gone for the CMS 6BT. Same roof rack, lights all round, you know, we want to give it more oomph. And then I've gone for the 5,000 litre Volvo bucket for this. And then I've also gone for that rear weight that's adjustable. Bit more weight up front. We need something to counterbalance it on the rear. So we've got the weight that comes with it, and then we've got the TLX one that we've used before. So we are good to go. I have moved some of this stuff around. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to do. Yeah. See if this will work. If we go to our miscellaneous, I did get in trouble for that the other day. I'm only joking when I say things like that. I know it's miscellaneous. When I say miscellaneous, I know it's not. That's not how you say it. It's just my dad used to say that all the time. It was one of those things when you were a kid and you were growing up, and you know, again, all those words that you just assumed that's how they were said. But anyway, so you've got this one. Is it Pepe 978? I think it is. There's a few different versions of this about. So if we lease that, 127. So as far as the contract goes, because I get all the contract money now, what I should be able to do, if you didn't watch the last episode or whenever it was I talked about this baling contract, you get this bit of kit which has got a front 3-point link but doesn't have a rear, so I can't hook up the windrower, the tedder, and technically the baler requires a PTO, which once all hooked up, however it's driven, I'm not too sure. Because this has got a rear hitch, this should work. There we go. Boom. So that now should give me the ability to hook up the front mower and the tedder and then the windrower and then the baler behind with a PTO on it. All good. So I just thought I'd better double check that would work, and it does. So happy days on that. That'll be something we'll get onto. But like I say, I have got a plan moving forward. Like I say, I may well sleep in a tent at the moment, but with the money we have earned, I have got a plot in mind that I want to buy. There's one of those irrigation systems there. I think Hispano provided 3. That's just a 4th one that was spare. In all honesty, you only really need 1. From what I gather from talking to Niko and his team at the Technical Development and Research Department, was that the various different ones that Hispano could send out, they had to go for the smallest one. I think it's a 68 metre. They do 124, 180 and a 200 and something. They were too big because all the nodding donkeys were in the way. You just couldn't get away with it. It wouldn't work. So I think that's kind of why. So they've got 2 in place, and they've got 1. Whoa. They've got 1 that's going to need to be placed. But like I say, you can just do 1, and once it's placed and you've worked out where you need to plough, you can then bring it backwards and forwards and irrigate. Now, obviously, in the real world situation, those irrigation systems are just that. They irrigate. In this situation, they are for fertilising, improving the ground. So this is the plot, or 3 plots, all intertwined. And if I show you on the map where we are out here, and they've got these 85, 84, 83 or 83, 84, 85. But if you come back to here, you'll see these are all sites of the nodding donkeys, as are these, as are these. So even though you've got that plot which is clear, that plot which is clear, but it's not a very wide plot. So if you go for the larger irrigation systems, they go too far out, so it can rotate, but it overextends that side. And this one, where it could go much bigger, all of those nodding donkeys are in the way. So you've still got to stick with the small one. But these are, like I said, these are test plots. That's the whole point of this. So what I'm going to need to do is go out and grab the trailer. Now they've been using the water source here. We've got a tent here. And they've got, oh there we go, look, there's the other one. And if I'm not mistaken, the T-Wolf. Looks like they've put a bit of work on it already. And then this is the dilution tank. So when they bring out the testicide will go into this, and then this will mix. But I think what we're going to need to do is switch over onto their payroll, I think, to be able to access that, so I can show you. But we're going to have to go back, grab the trailer, and then what I'm going to have to do is go back. Oh, that's a point. I'm going to need to, actually what I might do, let's unload this. I'm going to shift some sand first, because what we've got to do is shift some sand from here and around this, because there's sand all over the floor here, to give us access, and do maybe a patch across here, so we've got to drive in, drive out, because at the moment it's a little bit lumpy bump here and there. I haven't got to clear tons of sand. It's not like when I was doing the other stuff and I've got, you know, days and days worth. This is literally clearing a path in and out to give us access, and potentially I think where that irrigation system might swing round. Oh no, I'm not sure now. But what I'll do, I'll show you on here as well, is I'm just going to let me access it. It needs to be filled up, but there we go. If we can get into there, what we should be able to do is, if we start the engine and then do that, there we go. So there's our laser system. So you've got a laser system that when you turn it on, and it can be raised and lowered to whatever height you want, you can then see the boundary of where the irrigation system will run. Obviously in the light it's a little bit harder to see, but when you go the other side of that, you can see all the way around. So as far as ploughing it out goes, before you've even set this out or set it up, you can plough using the laser system, which will work quite well. So we're going to have to do that first. But I think we overrun the outside edge here. That's why we've got to remove some sand out here, I think. Let's just have a double check where the edge is. Yeah, look, you can see the line here. Just there. And we've got some sand here, so we're going to have to clear this sand out as well. I mean, to be fair, we could probably just plough that and that'll disappear. But we'll clear that out as well. I'm hoping it's going to work over the... I don't know. Like I say, it's all a test. And then if it works, and the testicide works, this potentially then becomes a fertile plot of land that can be planted. And I guess that'll be the next step. We'll have to put something in the ground so that when we get, we'll leave that to run. Obviously, the company, they're going to carry on doing their testing. There'll be 3, one here, one on that plot, and one further over. And they can reclaim some of the deadlands out here. It's near the water source, the little oasis. It'd be nice to have a bit of something, greenery. Whether it's just one patch of grass, I don't know what they're going to test, different crop types, but I'm just here to do the first stage testing. Or no, not first stage, they're on 4th now. But we need the diluted chemical for this to work. I'll drop that down for the time being. Turn the engine off. We're good to go. So, anyway, yeah. And then we'll have to go and collect the pesticide. I suppose thinking about it, I probably should have kept the small skid steer loader, because that would have worked. This is a bit big for just shifting a couple of pallets about, but that's alright. 5,000 litre bucket should make slightly lighter work of this. Oh, have I got access to the land? It'll let me. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, so a couple of 2 or 3 runs like that, straight up to there, widen it a little bit, and out the other side. That will give us access in and out. And then, I mean, I could spend some more time clearing more and more if I wanted to earn a little bit more money. We can with a 30,000 litre trailer. That's actually worked out, because I was worried going from 3,500 to 5,000. The extra weight on the front with the dirt was quite heavy. The sand, I mean, it seems to be, but we have got extra weight on the back of there. And if we need to, we can increase the weight on the back to counterbalance, which is why that works so well. I know I've shown you it before, but if this is the first time you're watching, I would always urge you to go back to the start of the Let's Play, check it all out. Do I take this back? I'll go and grab the trailer. I'll do the sand, and then what I'll do is I'll take the agri power back. We'll grab a plough. That's not on my dime, that's going to be on theirs. So when I see you next, we'll probably be switched over onto the agro-industrial cooperative. Whoa! I'm heading to pick up the pesticide. Now, I'm a little bit dubious about this bit, because it appears to be one of the guys that's been making it. I've got to collect it from their property. It all sounds a little bit dicey, but it's here somewhere. Oh, there it is. There. But I didn't bring the wheel loader down with me. Actually, I could go back out that gate just ahead of me. So what I'm thinking, you know, I said about borrowing equipment from the authority. It's 100. They'll charge me 100 for each kind of use. Oh, I've changed the tyres on this as well. Gone a little bit beefier and a little bit wider, because it was skittering all over the place, which it hadn't done when I had the leased version. And I think I chose different tyres. These aren't the ones that I had up when it was leased, but it seems to be a little bit better now. I don't know what was causing it. So what I'm going to do, the farm is right here, which kind of makes sense. They've got a front loader. I'm sure they've got a front loader, which I'm going to borrow over in here. Where is it? Just to load the trailer up. Yeah. So what I need to do is go to there, transfer money, and 100. There we go. One use payment. Don't want that. I want the forks. So what I thought was, I haven't finished doing all the sand either. I haven't done the bit around the field, so what I need to do is put that laser thing back out. I have done all the other bits though. I've worked out a little route in and out round to the dilution silo, and I've also done a little bit from the road onto the property. But it had to go to the concrete block factory, that's where it takes sand, and because that's a production, that's full. So everything that I've cleared, I've had to put in a big pile. I did 3-4 loads, and I got paid 2,700, was it? I think I showed it. Which is a little bit more than doing the dirt, although the price is about the same because I'm using a larger trailer this time. So I'm getting a little bit more money each load, but the production's full. The other option is to put it onto the train, which I could do. Sand, I can go on the northern rail line. So I could do that. Where are we? It's here, isn't it? So this is the concentrate. And these are, I think these are 2000s, aren't they? Yeah, concentrated liquid. So we've got a... I'm assuming this will pick up a 2,000 litre. I don't see any reason why it won't. There we go, no problem at all. We'll load it on, we'll take... Because I'm thinking while I'm clearing the last bit, if I put the laser level for the irrigation system out, while I'm clearing that sand, this can be diluting. And then I've got to plough as well. So while I'm doing those jobs, it just made more sense to have it already going rather than do those jobs, then go and collect this, and then having to wait for it to dilute before I can run the irrigation system. The other thing I've got to think about, what's the point? How am I going to get it from... I suppose I could take... Oh, two of them are in place. I could take the irrigation systems to the tank. I guess the other thing to do is to see if there's a tank available. If there's a tank available, like a little tanker. I'm sure there is. Maybe we could use that. So I'm not sure why I'm collecting it from here, and not the university where they've been producing it. Unless, of course, they just perfected it and sorted it at the university, and then they're producing it elsewhere. But again, you'd expect it to be some kind of chemical processing place, not someone's garage. But to be fair, 100 for the least of this. So it's one of those situations where I have to weigh up. If there's equipment that I can borrow from the authority, that they've got at the farm there, if it's cheaper to pay 100, if it's literally just a one-use thing, I'm not leasing it long term, compared to if I paid to lease something, if it's more than 100, I might as well just borrow it from the farm if they've got it. I mean, they haven't got an inexhaustible supply of equipment. They've got, you know, usual farm equipment. There's a couple of tractors. There's a seeder, isn't there? That's a fair point. I mind you, to be fair, the agro-industrial cooperative have got funds, so they can pay for a seeder. It's their testing they need doing. I haven't got to pay for that, but I just thought, well, while I'm doing this, I'm hoping this just unloads directly from the trailer. Right, let's go back. I'll see you over there in a minute. We'll unload. Like I said, there's already water in that silo, the dilution silo. I think that's all it takes, just water in this, and it works out. I'm pretty sure with the water, which if you've got a free source of water, it's a 1 to 5, I think. So although the fertiliser or the liquid that we've just got, the concentrate, is a little bit more expensive in the first place, at a 1 to 5 ratio, it works out. It's pretty good. But anyway, yeah. So we'll see how that all pans out. Just along here. There we go. I've cleared this bit here, so we can access the land a little bit easier without bumping up and down. And then obviously we'll have to go around the field once we've ploughed it out. But from across here, see, we're about to pile it up. And the next load I'll have to do across here, around the edge of the little oasis, and then I think we drop off this side. There we go. Perfect. And then back out this side, which is where we started. Right, so if I'm not mistaken, we are here. Oh yeah, I've got to be on theirs, haven't I? Sure it's there somewhere. Oh, there we go. Dilute, concentrate. Yeah, 4 lots of water. So it's 1 part and then it goes to 5. So I don't know how long it's going to take. What's it, 3,600 cycles with a 1:5 ratio? It shouldn't. There you go. Starting. So anyway, that can be chugging away and diluting. And then what I'll do is, like I say, put on the laser. And then anything I get from there, I'll just have to dump in that pile. And at some point later on, I can either take it or just leave it as it is. So we'll do that, engine on, and then that up to about there, just so we can see where we are. So a little bit around the edge here. Like I say, I mean, to be fair, ploughing that would probably just plough that out, really, wouldn't it? But should do it properly, really. Whoa! Sneezing fit came from absolutely nowhere. Okay, that's that edge. We're going to be pretty close, and then just do that bit round there, as you can see, and then we should be good. And then what I'll do, I'll whiz out, grab the agri power, we'll go and grab a plough. I think I'm going to just grab one of the straight edge ones, one of the standard ones. I'm just thinking for manoeuvrability and ease of trying to get a circle, if that's possible. This is working absolutely perfectly, really, really well. So we're in the Pre-North T-Wolf. On the back we've got the Lizard 9MT. Went for the 9, not the 6. This thing shifts, man. 37 miles an hour. So what we've got to do is, using the laser, the level, I suppose it's not technically. I thought it had a 3-point link on the back. I think kind of run this other way around. Hang on. It's going to be a bit peculiar, isn't it? Sure we can. We can, right. So, allow create fields, allow plough. Yeah, okay, that's weird. So what we've got to do now is, as best as we can, follow that curve. This is not something I've done before. How bizarre. Okay. Trying to get a nice steady turn. That's not too bad. Oh, lost the level. It's the undulations. That's better. I must admit, when I was coming out to do this, and I'm thinking, it's quite a small, it's only the one section, the irrigation system. It's not going to be that big a field, is it? But actually, it's a fair size. Oh, look at that. That's cool. So now just carry on. Then I'll do the same for the second one, same for the third one, and then by the time we've done that, hopefully we'll have a little bit of the testicide. We can bring that out. Actually, that's what I need to do next, I guess, is check on here. Where are we? We're there. So yeah, no fertilizer yet. So nothing's showing. That's not a bad size. So there should be another one then around that one, and then hopefully. Yeah, I don't know whether it will fit there. Maybe it'll fit there. Because I'm pretty sure it gets really, really steep and sloping up that end. But we'll have to go and check that out as well. So yeah, I'll carry on. We'll get this done. And then once we've got the first lot of pesticide in the ground, that should help neutralise anything that's going to cause problems. And then I guess seeding. And we're using the print off as it said in the instructions because we want to make sure the ground's not too compacted. I mean, it's not going to be great, but this is going to reduce the compaction by having the tracks and having the weight spread. When we get to the middle, that's the bit where once the irrigation system is set up, so I'm going to leave it like this for the time being. I mean, I could set it up now, but it puts the spar out, the main spar. Or was that a two section? That might be a two section. Can't remember what we went for. And it puts the slab down that it sits on. Once that's down, then what I'll do is I can plough around that slab, I think. At least if I do three sides of it, and if the arm's pointing out one way, I do three sides of it. I could always. I'm sure I can go underneath it. It'll be fine. What's the worst that's going to happen? This is cool. God, imagine after all this time having something out here, some greenery. Otherwise, I mean, obviously there's the little oasis there, but some crop or something out here. That'd be amazing. I suppose the only downside is will they survive sandstorms and that kind of stuff. It's all well and good, like I said, the wall's there for, you know, I say for a reason, probably multiple reasons, but it's that worry that I suppose you could put up, you could run, I suppose, one length of ploughed, probably not a plough this wide, maybe a bit narrower, and you could put in a row of bushes or trees or something just to help a bit of protection, maybe. Okay, first two done. They look surprisingly round. Really does help having that level. So what we're going to do now is try and work out the best place to put this one. This is going to be a little bit trickier, like I say, because of the ground. I'm not quite sure how this is going to work. I don't think we're going to get the seeding done in this episode. I think we'll probably get these done, we'll get the ploughing done, and we'll get them. I think they're each set on a 10-minute rotation, I think, of the actual pivot. So once we've got the pesticide in, where's our... Right, so we need to come to about... Oh yeah, this is really... I'm not sure if this is going to work. Ground is pretty ropey here to do that, so yeah, we need to be... Yeah, this is not... I don't know where we're going to put this one, because that's really bumpy, isn't it? Just trying to look at the ground. Right, let's see what they own. Let's check the map. So we're here. I suppose they own down to there. It's not much further, is it? Down level with that one. Yeah, I don't know really. We're going to be about... We're going to hit bumps no matter what we do. I guess the thing to do is to drop it and see what it shows for the disc. I think we're going to be some landscaping, some leveling maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to work out what we're going to do here. This one's a little bit trickier, to say the least. So start the engine, and then we'll do that. Oh crikey! Yeah, look at that. That's yeah, not so good. Let's bring that right up. That's what we can do. Let's change the camera angle on that. Yeah, I don't know about this one, you know. I mean, we could plough it, but I don't think the pivot's going to turn properly. Where's our edge? Okay, there. This it might do. We haven't got a gap. It's horrendous down that side. Just whether or not maybe this could be smooth, this side. And that bit there, maybe? I guess it's going to be a case of ploughing it, setting the pivot off and seeing if it will follow the terrain. I don't know how much leeway it's going to give it. Oh, all we can do is try. I'll get it done. I'll plough it, and then we'll see. And then hopefully by the time that's all done, we'll have some pesticide to put in. I'm going to have to go and get a tank. Oh, that was the thing I was going to check, wasn't I? I'm pretty sure under here we have got... There we go. That takes... I think it takes both. It takes all sorts of stuff. Sorry, galvanised or... There's the stainless steel version. Okay. That's better. It matches up with the stuff, doesn't it? It's not my company, so we'll turn that off. It's theirs. Okay, ploughing. It's 11 o'clock. All three are done. All three are ready to be extended and tested, I guess. Problem I have got is we don't have... I'm going to need to clear some more here, because if we're going to drive around the edge of the field at any point, because if we drive over the sand, it's going to push the sand back out onto the field, and I think to get down into the bit we've done here, or I put another one in, I think probably the best thing to do, rather than... Oh, I suppose we could do that. Or it's just put another one in here across this gap maybe. Oh, we can do that later on, that's not a problem. We haven't got enough of... the tester side isn't... Well, I think we've got just over 500 litres. So we haven't got enough yet. So what I'm thinking is, if I extend each one... Yeah, we'll go over to here. Where do we take it out from? I think it's this side, or one side. 576 litres, which is not enough. I don't think it's enough, and I'm assuming we should just be able to... Let's see. Come across to here. And it should give us the option to unload. Please give us the option to unload. Yeah. Okay, so that's gone into that. We'll see how far it goes before it packs up. So we have to, I think, yeah, go and get a cup of coffee or something. So what we should be able to do now is, if we unfold it like that, so you can see where I've ploughed round. System should go out to there. Now we do have the option, I think it goes that way. We can bring it back to here. It can only be folded in this position, and it will take 10 minutes to do a full rotation. But like I said, I think this is going to run out really quickly, so we're going to need a whole load more of it to get this to work. Now for this test to work, it should fertilise. And if it does fertilise, then we have decontaminated the ground. We're good. I think this is going to need liming though. Yeah, potentially need liming as well. But this test is working. And I've got to remember, how do we do this? Right rotation, turn on sprayer, and go. Switch to that, switch to that. It's working. It's working. It's working. We did it. Actually, it's not using anywhere near as much as I thought it would. We might get a full rotation in and it might not run out. It's going to take a while. The test is going to be those ones over there because of the ground. Let's get this out of the way. So I'm going to do while that's going. Let's see how far that gets before it runs out. Oh, I'm so pleased this is working. Haven't used this system in anger before. It's another one of those things we've talked about, and we were talking about at FarmCon about the next evolution of Farm Sim having irrigation, having things that need watering and irrigation systems that do provide water. So if you're in an environment where the summer you get drought conditions that will require you to water crop, you know, that's a next level step, isn't it? That would be absolutely brilliant. So what we'll do is that. So what we can do, because this does extend out a little bit further, this one should be okay. It's that one I'm worried about. So I don't know whether I want to set that one on a run round. I mean, we are... yeah, I think I might have ploughed a little bit further, but... it's a brilliant system. Yeah, clip the edge a little bit. That's not too bad. Hey, I'm calling that a success. I won't turn the other one on because there won't be anything in it, but we can set it off to do a rotation, and it will start right on that really bad bump. I hope this is what you were hoping for, Niko. Do that. So, white rotation. Actually, now it's sitting here, it doesn't look as bad. I don't know. What do you reckon? It's an interesting view, isn't it? Pretty cool. Swap out. I'll let that do one revolution, and then, like I say, what I'll probably do is go and grab a coffee, and then by the time we come back, we should have enough. Now, the thing about it is, once it has gone round, because this does fertilise. Once we fertilise this, because we're on, we haven't got precision farming on, so this will require. Oh, look at that! It will require 2 fertilising states, so I'm going to leave them exactly where they are. We'll seed when we get to that. We'll leave them where they are, then they'll do the second rotation to do the second state. But this is the decontamination phase. Next phase will then be the proper phase. That's fantastic. Second one is done. Beauty of this, you can unload it, and it's using next to nothing. So the first one I unloaded, brought it over here. So the dilution tank over there is going to have loads in it. So there'll be plenty for the second rotation of these. We go back and we check. Here we go. 2 done. Problem we have got is what I'm finding, it won't allow me to close cover. I can unload, which I'll do now, which means I can then take that fertiliser, tester site, over to the third site and we can get that running. But I think what I've got to do is put it back on that rotation. It needs to go all the way back round again to its start position before we can fold it, I think. So what I'm going to do is jump out, grab the tank, hopefully get to that tank before it swings around, not that it really matters too much. Then we'll head over and do the other, and then what I need to do, because the other one, the first one we did, has done a full rotation back for folding up. I only need it folded up out of the way, because when we do get to seeding, well, it does miss the middle bit, doesn't it? Fill that up. Take over to that one. And we can set that one off. It has all gone far easier than I thought it would. This one seems to do a full rotation no problem. As you can see, it hasn't got hung up anywhere. So I was worried about it, you know, sometimes if there's trees or bits and bobs and you haven't quite got it right, it can get caught up, but it seems to be okay. Got a bit of a wibble going on there. Turn on sprayer. I'll start the engine, sorry. Turn on sprayer. Ah. That's going to go back the other way this time. Because it's done a full rotation already. That's alright. Leave that one to run. Bit of wobble, but it's alright. Okay. I think it's just because the angle it's on. So we'll leave that one to run. Now if we go back to the first one, hopefully we can fold that up. I'm like saying, I'm sure it has to go back to its start position. Although it has done a full rotation and it is in its start position, it has to go. Is that one still going or is it stopped? Looks like it is. Or if it's not, we'll just do it off camera. And then I've got some more sand to just shift to make that little track round. And I think we're going to be alright, you know. Like I say, that's the first step. Ground decontaminated. We need to get out and do some liming though. Will that now close? There we go. Yeah, it just needs to come all the way back into its first position. Now the problem we got is in that position, seeding is a problem. I suppose what we can do, if we open the cover, like that, we can probably seed around here first, and then as we work our way out, then fold it up, and then we can, because this bit will be in the way otherwise, and then we can seed out to this bit. Yeah, that'll work, won't it? Is that still going? Yep, that's still rotating. And the third one's still going. This one had a, I think because I started one of the other ones up, when this started rotating, for some reason it stopped spraying. And it did about a quarter without spraying. So I had to bring it back, then set it off again, and then it carried on no problem at all. So, as I said earlier, that's absolutely brilliant. Not at all what I was expecting. It's worked. Like I said, I hope Niko's happy. Next episode, what we'll do, we'll get on, we'll get this sown. What I am going to do now, I'm going to whiz out and I'm going to start on that baling contract I've got. I'm going to leave my gear here because at least for the time being we've got the tent and we've got access to this as a sleeping accommodation. That could probably do with picking that sand up there as well, so I need to do a little bit of that. Let's put that there. Probably widen this out a little bit because I think as I drove over the corner I've spread some of the sand back out again, so I just need to tidy these up a little bit I think, and then When that gets back full rotation, I'll leave them as they are, do the seeding around the middle. Yeah, in the next episode I'm thinking property for us. I say we've bought this now belongs to us. Us, me, however you want to look at it. Our first legally owned thing. And we need some land. Because we are done with that section. It did work. And it only moved over a tight, you can just see a little gap that side. It didn't move over too far, you can see a little gap to the side of it. Once it had completed its rotation back, I did move it over back into position. I think it'll probably move again on the second one, but all three are done. First stage. I'm going to now go and grab the gear for doing that mowing contract. And like I say, next episode we need to look at a property for ourselves and get the seeding done out on there as well. So probably do this baling contract first. Like I say, I'm going to start it off now. I've already taken some of the equipment out. I am going to lease an auto stack, as I said, round bale auto stack rather than using those. But with that rear attachment on, we should now be able to take both of these out together. I can mow and ted. I'll mow first and then I'll go around the ted because the ted is much wider than the mower. But at least I'll be able to attach the tedder on the back now by putting that crated 3-point link on. My guess, potentially... Is there a back that goes on this? I'm trying to think now. What did this come with originally? I mean, to be fair, there might well be, but this is what I was supplied with. I wasn't supplied with a back as part of the baling contract. And to be fair, to lease a back to go on it, it's probably more expensive than just leasing that 3-point link. So, yeah, it's all good. What we'll do is just unfold the front mower, so by the time we get there, we're good to go. I'm going to leave the tedder on the back while I do the mowing portion of this. Over there. Like I said, we did sort the train out. There was just that little bit of dirt in the train. Once I'd unloaded that, that just keeps going now, so it doesn't keep stopping and getting in the way. Field 8 is right next door to the field that I did the silage baling on. Not too big fields, didn't take too long. Although the bales this time aren't going to the biogas plant because they were silage bales. This is going to Johnson's Farmers Market. Now this time round, because of the next part of my plan, thinking about the land I might purchase, I might keep the spare bales. Now this one as well, I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to go as far as I can get away with, so I can get maximum amount of bales, maximum amount of coverage as possible. I will cut what I can. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I know why. Just realised. Thinking that's unusual because it worked last time. It's because I'm still on their payroll. I need to be on mine. So let's transfer back to mine, which is where the contract is for. There we go. How far over will it let me go before it says it's reserved? There we go. So about there. So I can cut all the way out to there. That's a lot of extra grass. Now I'm going to do what I always do as well, because when I ted, it will flick it further out. So what I'm going to do is I will windrow these outside rows back in towards the field, then I'll ted it, and then I'll windrow it all back up again, and then I'll do the bales. But that's, like I say, that's as far as I'm concerned, that's a successful day. We've done what we set out to do. It worked. Can I go all the way up to the edge of there? I can. Ooh, okay. Okay, maybe not all the way up. A successful day's work. Thank you for the contract, Niko. I hope you've all enjoyed it. I hope you're still enjoying it. If you are, and if you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you choose to do. Thanks for watching.